y'all. How are you this morning? I can't hear you, but that's okay. I didn't want to anyway. This is 1 Million Cups, a weekly entrepreneurial event wherein two startups from the community come up here. They present to you guys what they're working on, what they are building here, and then you have 20 minutes to ask them questions, offer advice, perhaps make connections. That's the key to all of this. Well, the secondary key, as always, the main key is the delicious free kettle coffee. It keeps us wide-eyed and bushy-tailed here today. I'd like to introduce you to my fellow organizers, almost all of whom are here today, which is very cool. Marianne. Yay! Richard Wood. Danielle Whitelaw. John Morrow out there. Everybody say hi, John. And I'm Sean Kennedy. We have two great presentations today. You'll also hear about some events coming up in the community. But if you'd like more information about 1 Million Cups at any time, remember our website, 1millioncups.com/St. Pete, where you can request to present. And our sign-in sheet over there, not a requirement, but it gets you on the email that gives you all of the updates. To kick it off this morning, Life Enabling Technologies, my friend Stuart, are up.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Stuart Pinnock. Just to give you a little background on me and what I do, I'm an accountant, got my undergrad at FIU, got my master's at University of Texas at Austin, so I'm a Longhorn too. And I started my doctoral work at University of Oregon, so I'm a Dub. And I root for the Hurricanes, so I'm all over the board. I want to introduce you to somebody this morning. This is Alex. Alex is a young, bright, beautiful girl who was born with cerebral palsy. She is intelligent, she is active, she's involved, she plays sports, she goes to dances. She just got inducted into the National Junior Honor Society. This is where she's dressed up on this picture to the right. On this picture to the left, you can see Alex's talker. That's how she communicates. She creates right sentences in that, and it speaks in a young girl's voice so she can communicate with people. As you look at that talker, see how it's attached to her wheelchair with that platform and that bar. That platform and bar manually attached to the side of her wheelchair. To get that on and off, someone has to take bolts out. So when Alex has to go to the bathroom, someone has to take that whole contraption off her wheelchair, assist her in the bathroom, and then put it back on. We talk about accommodations for people with disabilities, and what do those accommodations mean? Outside of this building, there's a ramp. That's an accommodation. Here I have some pictures of stadiums. What do the accommodations entail? A space with no chair. That's what the accommodation is, a place you can park your wheelchair and enjoy the sporting event. Let me ask you a question. Where does that person put a bag of popcorn, a soda, their tablet, a hot dog? That's all part and parcel of enjoying a baseball game, a football game, a sporting event, a concert. Some of the current solutions are, you see here a couple attached trays, a lap tray, and then a lap. That's what people use when they want to store stuff, have a drink, have a meal. What are the problems with these attached trays? Is you need someone else to carry it, or have it, and attach it, and take it off. Where do you keep this? Look at the size of this tray. Where do you keep that? Is it in the classroom? Is it at the sporting event? Is it in the caretaker's bag? How about when they want to carry their tablet, their laptop, their school books? Goes in a backpack or a side pack. Now you might say side pack is a great idea. The problem with side packs is it gets in the way of their seating. To somebody in a wheelchair, you'll understand that seating is very important. And the seating can be what determines a good wheelchair from a bad wheelchair, because they can't move. They don't get up and walk around. You can get up out of these chairs and walk around and give your joints and your body relief. They cannot. So anything that infringes on their seating is a problem. So what I've come up with, and what we've come up with, is two products patented out of USF right here in Tampa. They're gonna be marketed, distributed, and sold out here in Tampa. Life Enabling Technologies has licensed both these products from USF. The first product is a tray table. This is a self-contained table that attaches and replaces one of the armrests on a wheelchair. The beauty with this table is it's always with them. It's in the wheelchair. This is it deployed. This is it stowed. You open the armrest, you pull out the tray table and deploy it. Now, whether if the person has the dexterity to do it themselves or if a caretaker has to do it, it's not something they have to travel with. It's not something they have to plan for, make room in the car for. And it has an insert that they can lift up so Alex could put her speaker right on that and use it. And if she needs to go to the bathroom, she stows it in her backpack, stows the table, and she's ready to go. Speaking of backpacks, if I told you there was a $100 bill pasted behind your chair right now, the only person who could get it is the person sitting behind you. Because I don't know about your dexterity, maybe it's age, maybe it's my size, but I couldn't reach it. I tried it sitting in my computer chair last night just to reach down in the back, and that time has passed for me. The backpack retriever attaches on the wheelchair, and it doesn't look any different from the pictures I showed you before. The only difference is it's power enabled so that you can hit a button and the backpack now relocates to the side of the wheelchair so you can get access to whatever's in there. There's approximately 3 million people in the US right now that are in wheelchairs. About 40% of those are in power wheelchairs. And people change their wheelchairs every 3 to 5 years, whether that's due to increasing or decreasing size, normally increasing, all of us know that as we get older. A change in their diagnosis, an advancement of their illness. And speaking of illnesses, there are so many that people end up in wheelchairs. Now, Alex started in wheelchairs, but we talking cerebral palsy, spina bifida, arthritis. Where am I going to go with this product? Veterans Administration, Medicare, Medicaid, vocational rehab, and that's how people are going to be able to afford and take this and get this product. I have some basic financials I won't bore you with, and now I want to ask you really to give me an honest opinion on the presentation, what you thought, and other ideas about how to market it, where to take it, where to put these products, and I appreciate your time. Thank you. Yes?
We have in the Sarasota area hovercraft.
Right, hover-round.
All right, round, and they're doing manufacturing.
Yes.
Okay, so that would be a good place, another place to add to your potential.
Absolutely. We've talked to Hover-Round and they want it, but they just don't want to pay for it. Now, we're trying to get the cost down so that we can make it attractive to Hover-Round.
Well, but again, it could be a business arrangement where they would promote some of your materials when they sell their device.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, they've expressed interest in putting it on every device they sell. The tray table, not the backpack. That would be an option, but the tray table on every device.
Right, exactly
I
right.
appreciate the question. Yes,
Mine
ma'am.
is a question about that because you've got Hover-Round, which has one particular type of vehicle, but
Yes.
how universal is what you've created?
Completely universal. We've attached it. Now there's 3 main wheelchair manufacturers that do the bulk of, and these wheelchairs get rebranded, but there are many other boutique type wheelchair manufacturers. The mounts on these things have been made to be universal. Now, there can be issues if someone has something special installed on their wheelchair that we'd have to work around. The beauty of both those products is they can go on either side of the wheelchair. So you can have the tray table on the left or right, you can have the backpack retriever on the left or right. You had a question?
Yes, what's your cost at this point for creating them?
That's the problem. Right now, my cost on the tray table is about $500. and the backpack retriever is about 400, and right now I'm working with the manufacturer to get those costs down.
And what reimbursement can you get from insurance at this point on that?
That's a tricky question, and one that doesn't have a definitive answer because it differs from state to state. It differs by who the insurance is. Is it VA? If it's VA, I get 100%. If it's Medicare, I have to show a bunch of different things. If it's private insurance, it depends on the carrier. It's a tricky question. I don't have a definitive answer for that. Yes, sir.
This is basically the old airline seat fold-out table, right?
You think about that seat on the bulkhead, yes, sir.
Okay, all right. And so, is that the manufacturer?
No, the manufacturer here that we use is local. It's not, they don't do the airline tables.
Who does?
I don't know who does the airline tables. Probably whoever manufactures the airline. I mean, it might be Boeing themselves, but
I would doubt that. I would think it would be a subcontractor. But the other question I have is that insert that folds up, why can't that be integrated into this nonsense?
it is.
Oh, I thought you were gonna stow that someplace else.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, when it's stowed, it lays flat. There it's deployed,
Okay, so it's,
but like that, oh, it's deployed there again. But it does lay down flat. Yes, sir.
Are you planning on scaling through just direct to consumer, or are you trying to partner with like theme parks or other venues that have a ton of?
That's why I came here, because I hadn't even thought of theme parks. I appreciate that. I'll take a note on that. Well, I plan to go directly to the institutions that would help people with disabilities. Now, the first place I plan to go is the Veterans Administration. I really don't need to explain why. We have a lot of wounded vets. We have a lot of them with limbs. What do you call those? Prosthetic limbs, but some of them who are not eligible for those. So that's the first place. Then vocational rehab, but theme parks, yes, I was thinking nursing homes, assisted living facilities, but theme parks is a good one. Schools too, to accommodate their students. Yes, sir.
Great presentation, and just maybe to get the idea out some more, I know there's a lot of innovation and research in devices for disabled, and I'm looking at your tray, and it looks like you can put a tablet or something in there. I'm sure there are people that are making assisted electronic devices for, like the speaking
Right.
showed, maybe get, an MIT or someone, get with them, and maybe you could even integrate, the tablet that runs our application into that rest, and then when they go out and demo what they have, again, you don't have to pull it out of the backpack, so you don't even need the backpack retriever. It could just be, I know somebody here demoed a universal, iPad mount a few weeks ago, right?
Right.
So like, can you actually integrate the tablet into the?
Actually, I mean, we wouldn't want to integrate the tablet. I like where you're going with that. One of the videos I have of the tray table, they have a tablet that is mounted on the insert, just Velcro, so it stows with it. And that's to enable anybody to put whatever they want on it. Because there's a lot of space in the storage spot for them to do that. But yes, absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
In Orlando, near the end of the month, there's a national conference. It's called ATIA, where it's devices. It's for people who sell. Well, it's a big conference, and there's a big exhibition by people who sell products for assisting people with disabilities.
ATIA.
It's at the Caribe.
Okay, I'm gonna write theme parks too before I forget.
I'm
That's what
going there.
age
I'm
does.
going there just to see what the exhibitors are, but a place like that would be
Absolutely.
a great place to exhibit.
Yes, ma'am.
Just for electric, or is it also for stationary wheelchairs?
Right now, our target is electric wheelchairs. Why? Because there's more real estate to work with. If you think about a manual wheelchair, and the wheels are a lot bigger. The wheels come all the way up to the armrest. So it's harder to work around that real estate. We've had talks about a manual backpack retriever, but we haven't decided or designed anything around that. You got a follow on?
Oh, I was just gonna say 500 retail or 500 to make.
500 to make.
Retail is.
Well, retail is gonna be somewhere around 750. Yes, sir.
For the backpack, one of the book is for the car. Again, with disabilities, which is in the wheelchair, you can have this backpack in this car. The near his back. If he could turn, it can be interesting to have the backpack because they could not move into their car. I know someone who is in the electrical chair. He always gets in trouble with his backpack. So why not having this into a car?
I'm not sure I follow the question.
Just
In the car when they're driving,
Yes.
have the backpack attacher on in the car.
Hmm.
Back of the.
I hadn't thought about that. That's something I have to think about, but, okay. Yes, sir.
So I have a couple questions. Number one, what are the components made out of it? If they're mostly plastic, 500 per unit seems high. Have you ever entertained or thought of doing these on demand and printing them on a 3D printer?
I haven't thought about a 3D printer per se, and part of the problem is the materials that go into, especially the tray table. There's a lot of bolts, a lot of nuts, a lot of what you can't see in a still. What you can't see in a still presentation is that the table will rotate at all different angles. It will, once it deploys, it can fold out of the way, so you don't even have to stow it to get out of the wheelchair. So there's a lot of engineering. I'm an accountant. I take what the manufacturer tells me and the screws and the bolts. I don't want to get into that realm. The future is I need to move past a cut and weld manufacturer to somebody who can stamp these pieces out. And that's the future. Right now, that's not where I'm at. Yes, sir.
I work in the cycling industry. There's a well-established market for accessory vendors, especially online. And I would think that this would be a great product for wheelchair manufacturer accessory companies. Have you looked at those?
That's the goal. Now, at first, I have two options. I can launch this product to the wheelchair manufacturer and say, look, you need this because your customers want it. Or I can make their customers want it, thus forcing them to adopt it.
Yeah, the second strategy is the only one that works.
And I'm going for the second strategy because, like you said, it's the one that works. So I'm going to the VA. I'm going to get it on people's wheelchairs, and then I'll attack the manufacturers and say, here are pictures, testimonials, here's evidence that this product works, that this product helps people. You'd be a fool not to have it. I want them to need me. Yes, ma'am.
What has been your marketing plan with the medical community? Because I'm just thinking, I work specifically with physicians. So I'm thinking about an orthopedic surgery group that I have in Orlando. And if you had great testimonials from the medical community talking about how this is required for patients that frequent their facilities, I mean, do you have a marketing plan? Like what have you done in terms of marketing? So
That very first slide should tell you all you need to know about my marketing. I'm an accountant. So I have thought about approaching doctors and people that deal mainly with people with disabilities. I haven't launched the product yet. Hopefully that's near the end of the month. We're relaunching. The product has already been launched and sold, but it kind of fell off, and the engineer who designed it has moved on. So now I'm taking it over and I'm going to relaunch and redesign. That is outstanding idea, and I need to, maybe we could talk more after this about how I could do that, because that's where I fall down. Yes, sir.
Stuart, do you have a prototype that can fit into a wheelchair right now?
Yes, sir.
So if you and I got together, we went up to the ATI, the event in Orlando, you had a wheelchair, again, seeing is believing.
As a matter of fact, and I'm going to cut you off just to highlight the point that what they have found in the past is if I attach it to a wheelchair and bring it to a conference, that people look at the wheelchair, people walk by it because they think I'm showing another wheelchair. And there's 100 people showing wheelchairs, and I don't want to show another wheelchair. So what I have is a keyboard stand that simulates a wheelchair, but now people know they don't look past it, they know it's not a wheelchair. Now they want to know what is it, and then both products are attached to that. So I have a tray table on one side, the backpack retriever on the other.
For a follow-up, again, if you have someone in a wheelchair at this event that's actually traveling throughout the convention using your product, it may see, okay, wow, that's interesting, where is that? A rolling billboard, if you will.
That's not a bad idea, to have that in addition to my display. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. And I have just a candidate, or we could talk. Yes, sir.
I use manual deployment.
The table is, the backpack retriever is motorized.
Okay, if you could, I would work on a motorized version. You've got the power supply on a wheelchair for pack reasons only. I mean, certainly selling it, but
Right.
when it comes down to.
And that is a thought, and that is, I mean, there's a lot of revisions in my head about what I could add. One of the things is I could add a power port, a USB port to that tray table, because everybody has an electronic device that needs power, and it's especially true for someone who's disabled and in a wheelchair.
Absolutely.
But that is absolutely one of the revisions that's in my head further down the line. Yes, ma'am.
Question about when you see people who would just walk by a wheelchair, when the tray table is actually integrated in as the arm, right? So you have the side.
Right.
How about for specific events like that where you're trying to really showcase it? How about doing your sample or prototype with some type of bright color graphics or something eye-catching so it really stands apart from you?
Yeah, I mean, that would draw more attention to it. I mean, what happens is people are used to seeing tables on a wheelchair. What they're not used to seeing is a table that can be stowed on the wheelchair. So really, the more eye-catching thing for them is seeing the table stowed after it's deployed. If they see it deployed, they walk by assuming it's one of those that is just attached, that someone has to carry with them. But I hear you. Color is always good. Again, as an accountant, I'm not. Yeah, Chris.
Hi, it's such a universal product. Have you ever thought of going to the healthcare industry in such a way that you would target something like nursing home, assisted living care? Because if you go into one of those, you see a lot of elderly, they take their meals in almost like a very comfortable recliner, but they have to wheel this unwieldy table that has to be risen and lowered, and it has to be moved, and it's in the way of nurses. This would be an ideal thing for a chair manufacturer for nursing homes and stuff, because not everybody takes a meal or does things in a wheelchair.
Or the hospital.
Or the hospital.
Right.
There's 5,370 hospitals.
Those are part of my target, and I'm surprised you know that number to the number.
I do.
Yes, ma'am.
You keep saying you're an accountant, so I assume you're not an inventor, so do you have a license from USF?
I have a license through USF.
Is there a patent on the license, and if so, can you modify it to add these other things that you're talking about? How does that
Well,
work?
there are 2 patents, one for each product that USF holds. I have licensed both patents from USF. Any modifications would be an addendum to the patent if it's something that's substantially new functionality. But just adding a power port, making it power assist, it wouldn't constitute a new patent, I don't think, but I'm not an attorney, and that's why I have to pay attorneys.
What your arrangement is that someone else invented it and you're just licensing it.
Right. Right. Yes, sir.
Great presentation, by the way. Maybe this is like a different angle, and I'm ignorant to the industry, but is by having the backpack, the person's able to get things themselves. Does that negate the use of a caretaker, where you could offset the cost of maybe, it's like a short-term solution where someone maybe doesn't need 24/7?
I don't know that it negates the caretaker. What I'm trying to sell is that it gives a person more independence, more freedom, more fulfilling, because they're able to do more. Alex, the picture I showed you of Alex, it's not just some girl I pulled off the internet. Best man at my wedding, that's her daughter. Now, she wants to do what every kid wants to do. And she has to have help. But if she didn't have to have the help, she'd be fine with that. She'd be better with that. So it's not really replacing the caretaker, she'd still need a caretaker. Yes, sir.
It seems to me like you're selling ability.
Yes, I'm selling ability, empowerment, fulfillment,
All that good stuff.
independence.
So there are other related fields or other related places that also sell ability and the ability to do that extra
that extra thing that you couldn't do before. There was a surf expo in Orlando last weekend. There's cycling expos. And in those expos, there are people who know people who need a little extra ability. And they're also out there enjoying and getting extra things in their lives. You mentioned that people walk right past your setup in a wheelchair because you're in a health expo. But if you were to take this to a different type of expo or a different scenario, there's going to be somebody there that could use your product with a slight twist. You'd be able to pitch it to other people in a broader market.
Right, and that might
you
be
get a poster child.
that might be something that I have to consider further down the line. Right now, my goal is to hit the low-hanging fruit, for lack of a better term, right? To get it in front of more people that can use it and benefit from it. And I understand what you're saying. At a cycling expo, I might have a handful of people who'd be interested, whereas a conference like for people in wheelchairs, everybody, including manufacturers, medical device resellers, are gonna hopefully be interested. All right, that looks like yes, ma'am.
I get to ask the final question, which I know you posed a little bit, but what can we as a community do for you, and will you be here after the end of this if we want to give you more feedback?
I will be here because you won't let me leave. And, what you can do is if you can think of anything or any place, kind of like the Cycling Expos, where I could market this, or give me pointers on how to improve this presentation and how to come across. Whatever you saw me do that you didn't like, I'd like to hear it. All right? And I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you again all for coming out this morning. We've got a packed house, so for you guys mingling over there, there's still some room over on each of the sides and a little in the back too if you want to come in. Out of curiosity, show of hands, who is this your first time here? Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming. Quick recap is this is an educational program that's put on by Hoffman Foundation. Every single Wednesday we're here, so we hope to see you guys back as well. Each presenter has a 6-minute PowerPoint presentation to educate you on the product, the service. Minutes followed up, as you saw, with a 20-minute Q&A of different areas for them to pursue. If you have connections, if you want introductions, it's all about community and helping the community. So if you want to hear more about the actual startups that are presenting, or if you want to give feedback to the presenters, there is a mailing list you can sign up for over in the corner by the door. We only send 2 emails a week. We will not spam you. And if you did sign up and you haven't gotten on the mailing list, try again to write legibly, because we have that problem a lot. But I'm here to tell you about some of the other fun entrepreneurial and startup events in the area. You have up here the Digital Entrepreneurship for Teens. It's actually hosted here at the Greenhouse. So great way to get children involved at an early age and getting thinking in that entrepreneurial mindset. You have the 21st next Wednesday. A really neat event that's put on by a new meetup in the area, and it'll be at Iron Yard right down the street, where it's a 2-hour event to help you build your own website using WordPress. So completely free. If you need a website or are interested on how you approach that, this is a great event with a lot of resources there to help you. You have Weekend that happens over in Tampa. It's a whole weekend event that is just fun. It kicks off Thursday morning with a breakfast in Tampa, followed by a weekend. It'll be a little chilly, but hey, great weather. So, and then you also have a couple days after that is the Tampa Educational Entrepreneurs at HCC Tampa. That is up and that's on Meetup as well. And then last event is Pitch 6, which
I can tell you about that. So my name is Mark Swanson. Pitch 6 is a Shark Tank television show that I'm producing for Bright House Networks. And it's filmed in front of a live audience. We're doing this at Mosey. There's an Angel. We've invited Florida Nexus and New World Angels. There's going to be an Angel networking event prior to that from 5 to 6, and then at 6 o'clock we start taping the show. We had about 150 people there last year, probably expect 300 there. We got stadium seating, so it's a live show. We had 33 companies apply to the top 5, and then the number 1 is selected as the top startup. So it's a great event. We got free drinks, free hors d'oeuvres in the networking session, and I'm going to be talking to Kevin about a discount code, so he'll be sending that out. So I encourage you to attend on the 27th, 5 o'clock.
Thank you, Mark. And again, if you sign up for the mailing list, all of the links to these events will be on there at the end of the week. So up next, please give a warm round of applause for Preston with Rank Minor.
Good morning, how are you guys? My name is Preston Pincus. I'm the founder and CEO of Rank Minor. We're a predictive analytics company that uses voice-based emotions and behaviors to predict business outcomes. I've got a short little video that I'll show you, give you a nice little overview, and then I'll get into some things.
No. You know, I really don't want to waste your time or mine.
That's what I'd like to get done. Of these 3 calls, can you tell who's the most likely sale, who's a maybe, and who's a complete waste of time? The fact is, perhaps your top callers can, but are they always right? And what about the rest of your agents? What if there was another way? Well, now there is. Introducing RateMiner Predictive Analytics. Through its patented technology, RateMiner increases successful outcomes by analyzing call recordings to identify the true no's and yeses. The maybes are then ranked based on likelihood of success. Unlike speech technology, RateMiner ignores the words and uses advanced DSP technology to pull out the true meaning of the conversation. By focusing on over 176 features, such as pitch frequency and resonance amplitudes, RateMiner is the only company able to predict actual customer outcomes. And it works. Current RateMiner customers have experienced improvements ranging from 17.2% to 36.1%. What would this mean for your business? Go to RateMiner.com to schedule your own proof of concept and learn how RateMiner can help drive your specific business goals.
So, what's exciting about Rank Minor is that we've got applications across multiple industries. So within the business world, we're really focused on industries that live and die by the phone. So collections, inside sales, and general call centers. Each of these verticals, we believe, is a standalone market for us. We've started in the collection space to prove out our analytical capabilities, and we have just begun to, we're working on our first pod within inside sales this month, as a matter of fact. We also have applications in the healthcare industry. So with the Affordable Health Care Act, there has been a cottage industry that has really popped up and garnered some foothold, and that's something to be described like wellness, coaching. So there are companies hired by the insurance companies that reach out to individuals to enroll them in programs to make sure that they stay on medication and that they're taking their daily walks or exercise or whatever. And so the application with Rank Minor is, how do we increase that engagement, and then how do we determine if someone's likely to fall off a particular program. We're also working with a couple of PhDs, University in Kentucky, that are working with kids and creating some programs around reading. So as you may know, to gauge somebody's ability to read, you're really looking at accuracy and speed and comprehension. So there is a term called prosody that measures those things in a different way, and that gauges the smoothness and fluency with which one reads. We have applied through a couple of different tests with U.S. kids, and we're currently testing with international kids reading, and our accuracy in determining good readers versus not is north of 94%. So we're very excited about these applications. We've got our first patent was granted in July of last year. We have another patent ready to file, and we will likely file that next month. So I wanted to also share kind of our team. My background is really around new venture creation and new product development within companies. I started my career in Moscow with a Russian bank, license number 2, and then with a startup company in Budapest, Hungary for a number of years. And then later with a turnaround company, VC funded in Texas, and then been here for about 8 years. We also have a gentleman, Suresh Linganini, as our Chief Technology Officer. It's extensive background in analytics and technology. Bruce Peoples, a cognitive scientist for us. Aaron Hamill's a machine learning programmer. And then we have one salesperson. So, really, we are probably 90 days out or so from looking to start to implement and engage in marketing. So, where kind of the question that has come up on a regular basis is how can the community help us? And if you have certainly any leads around investors, customers, partners, always appreciated. But any references or referrals to marketing expertise would be hugely beneficial to us. With that, I'll open it up for questions. Yes, sir.
Preston, is your assuming it's software, is it directly linked to a call center? So if they're on a call, they can see the analytics that you're talking about, or is it later afterwards?
So today, our customers that are employed are post-call analytics. So second call, go forward. We actually, as part of our roadmap, are implementing a real-time solution. That will likely be towards the end of 2015, though. Yes.
I'm not sure if you can answer this, but there are other companies that are studying like neuromarketing and neurolinguistics. Yes. Are you guys basing your confidence level or accuracy off of those type of case studies? Or are you basing it off of some type of quantitative, proprietary, special sauce?
Yeah, so it's special sauce. And so one thing that's important is that we are language independent. We've actually proven out this technology in Polish and in Hungarian and in English. So we do not focus on any of the words. So these 176 feature vectors are like the emotions, happy, sad, angry, discontent, neutral, but then also pauses, speed, something that I guess I would loosely translate as energy. So there's just a number of issues that are behind the words, if you will. And our case studies are built around specific results. So this was our first case study where this is a medium size. They probably have almost 600 seats in a center in Jacksonville, and then another couple hundred in Portland. And they used it, and they compared what we identified as